record on this. Okay. Yeah, so still on the same case study that we are dealing with the Suftnet retail store business. Recall we were able to complete some of those parts, the first part, which is the gathering all the data collection, putting the data from various sources, because we have one of the data from SQL database, and we are also able to connect with that database and load the data into our Power BI canvas. Also, all the other Excel spreadsheet, the CSV file we're given, we're also put into our Power BI canvas. But recall what we did last week was just to load all those data. We didn't do any transformation. So for today's session, we are going to continue, with the transformation, because we had a look at some of those data last week. If I look at looking at this sales rep table now, for example, we see that we're having the sales rep ID, and having column 1. So we need to do a little bit of transformation and make sure that we have all these our table, we have them in a proper way that we can be able to get a meaningful results based on the tasks that we are given. So I'm going to go now to the go back to the Power Query, which is like the kitchen of Power BI, as we mentioned. So to go that, I'll just go to the transform data here, and I'll go to transform data, this one, which is going to take me back to my the Power Query editor, where we are going to do most of those transformation. So I could see here that even though we didn't do some transformation, Power BI has did some of them for us. I think that has to do with when we have the one that we loaded the file. We loaded a folder that contains I think about 3 or 4 different types of data sets. So I want to believe that this is where the transformation is coming from. So let's take the tables one by one. So this one, we have the category key, we have the category. So I think this is good. This one is perfect. Looking at the geographic data, so we have, so we need to do a little bit of transformation here. We have the country. So what we are going to do here, we need to promote the first row as header in this case, so that we can make this column header the rightful content. So to do this, I'm just going to click on use first row as header here, and that should work. So I now have my country, my town, my the Wikipedia link. So I think this is fine. Perfect. Again, let's look at the sales rep. The sales rep, again, we need to do some transformation here. First row as header as well. I'm gonna do that. So, but if I look at the main data, the main sales, what I have there, let's look at the sales rep ID. Sales rep ID. Yeah, what I have is just a number. I don't have this ID that we have, in front before the ID of the salesperson. So we can do something. We can split this column, or maybe we can even extract. Okay, say we want to use the extract function. We only need 1, 2, 3, 4. We only need the fifth. In this case, the fifth data, or the fixed character in this case. So we can either use the split function, or we use the extract function. Just bear with me. Okay, so again, let's try the split function. We can split this column. Let's say I want to split this column, split by delimiter, and it's going to ask me, I want the space. I want to split it by space. Each occurrence of the delimiter, let me put it that way. Or maybe in this case, I can say space at the rightmost delimiter. Yeah, let me use this one so that we have minimum number of splitting. So this is okay now. Yeah, we can remove this. We can remove this column here. says remove columns, and I can just rename this one as sales rep ID. Okay. So are we together? Can I just confirm we are following me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I think we'll just go with this split column function. Let me remove all those steps and see if I can make use of the extract function as well. Let me see, where do I normally have that extract? Yeah. So I have this column selected now. Let's say I want to extract, I want to extract something, text before delimiter, text after delimiter, text between delimiters, or maybe I want to extract the first characters or length. Let's say in this case, I want to extract 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, let's say I want to extract the sixth. Yeah, you can see now. Oh, what am I doing? Sorry. I want to extract uh last characters. Maybe in this case, I can use a last characters. So it's going to ask me how many ending characters to keep. I just want the last one. Let's see if this is going to work. Right. So this also work again. This work, but if you look at this, our data is in text. So we still need to do a little bit of formatting. I think I'll just go back and do the split function. I prefer that one. Split column by delimiter. Yeah. The rightmost delimiter, that's where I want to split it. Okay, so I have this now. I can take away this column, remove columns, and I can rename this accordingly as sales rep 1, then sales rep ID. So we have this cleanup now. This is perfect. Let's see what we need to do again. This one is okay. Let's look at the subcategories. Yeah, this as well. From the category key, let's see the category key. Where do we have the category key? Yeah, so we have subcategory key here is in numeric. Let me see subcategory key. So this is in numeric. This is okay, but the category key, let's see from the categories table, what we only have here is in number. So we don't have the ID, along with it. So the same thing we are going to do. We are going to do for that sales rep ID. We are going to do the same thing under the subcategory. So I will just again split this column, split column, I delimiter, rightmost. Let's say rightmost again. Okay, this is okay. And again, I'm going to take away this column and I'll just rename this as my category as well. So looking at this now, I think, yeah, this is perfect, which means we can only have two categories. It could only be one, which is the extra. Sorry, okay. We can either be one, it can either be two, and it can either be, 1 and 2. That's the category key as well. So if I go...
Sorry to interrupt you.
Okay.
Please, these the green lines or stripes,
yeah,
at the top, what are they? What do they represent? And then what's a delimiter?
Okay, delimiter are space, semicolon, comma, all those characters, special characters.
Okay.
So those are what are categorized as delimiter.
Right.
So looking at this line here, so I was the one that actually enable this. So we can enable this in our Power BI. When we go to the view, I want to see the column distribution. Okay, sometimes this give me an overview or give me an insight what my column is looking like. So in this case, I said I want to see the column distribution, and it's telling me there are two distinct values, right? two distinct value. That means it can either be 1 or 2. And looking at this unique means that there's no any data in this that appear once. If you look at this subcategory name, we have 4 distinct, at least, different types of um, variable in
Yeah.
this column. But each one of them appear once, and that's why I say that at least extra appear once. That's one unique. Regular appears one unique. That's making 2. Micro as well, super, and that's why we're saying unique. So assuming maybe I have only extra appear once here, and I only have extra one, and I have regular. So it's going to pick extra as okay. It's going to note that only extra is I have one unique variable.
And 3 distinct.
Yeah. Inside that data set. So that's just like looking at how your data is looking will give you a sense of okay, this is what your column is saying. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Right. So moving on, let's look at the sales. Yeah. So we extracted, we loaded a folder. So all these sales 2014, which is the name of our sales record that we loaded as a folder. So in this case, we don't need all this source name. So we can just take away this column. I'll just remove this column. We have the product ID, we have this. So if you look at this location too, so the way this is working is like we have both the country and the location. Because if I look at my geography table, I have country and town. So what that tells us is that we need to do some transformation to this location, and we can go ahead and use the same split function and say, okay, split by the delimiter, and this case is going to be a semicolon. So again, I'm going to split column by delimiter. Yeah, I'm going to say select or enter delimiter. It's already pick it as semicolon. That's fine. Anywhere you have that occurrence, I want to split my data. So let's just go ahead and click the OK. So we have the country and the town now. So we can go ahead and rename this column appropriately. Yeah. So this will be our country. And this will be our town. Yeah. So are we still together?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So let's look at this column, this table further. We have the dates, we have the units, we have the percentage of standard cost. We have the revenue discount, which is okay. Let's try and check our data type as well. So data type we have here, we have the revenue is in decimal, which is perfect. Percentage is in decimal as well. Units is in numeric, that's fine. Date is recognized as dates. Town is recognized as text. Country is also recognized. So I think all these are looking very good now. Yeah. So let's try and see the products table. Looking at the product table, yeah, this is also looking good. I think this is perfect. This is fine. All the data is looking good. But as Power BI developer, we need to think now, because some of the things that we need to do, we need to be able to, connect this sales rep person now. We have the sales rep persons here, and we have the salesperson rep ID. So, but in the sales data, we only have, I think, yeah, we only have the sales rep ID, which is perfect. That means we can create, a one-to-many relationship between those two tables. So that one is fine. Let's look at the geography. So if you look at the geography, we only have, we don't have the geography key. And I think based on the requirement, we are meant to create a geo key. Create a unique key, which is geo key in the sales and geography table. So what that means is that we need to create, using the index function, we need to index the geographic table so that we can get a geo key. And that geo key is what we are going to take into our sales table so that we can have a relationship that is one to many from one location. If I'm Germany now, I want to see all the record of Germany. So let's see how we can implement that. So we have this now. We can go to, under the add column. And what do we want to do? We want to index this column so that at least each of these occurrence, each of this row will have its own unique number. So we can go here now and say, you know what, create an index from us from 1 to starting from 1, depending on how we want this index to be. So I'm going to rename this now as a geocrete. Let's rename this as a geocrete. Geokey, yeah. Basically, we just have to follow the requirement. But if we notice, we have Germany, Frankfurt as 3. So even though it's the same country, but their town is different. So what this is going to tell us is that we need to take this geo key into our sales table. And that means we are going to use both the country and the town, as a form of connection when we are bringing the geo key to this table. So let's see how we can implement that. So I'm going to go to so in this case, am I using the merge queries or append queries? Anyone? We want to bring this geographic key, which is geo key, into the sales data. So can I just get a suggestion how I can, solve that?
Yeah, you can use the match queries.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. So again, I will just come here, merge queries. Yeah, I'm not merging as a new query. I don't want to create a new query here or a new table. So merge queries, that's what I want to do. And what I want to merge query, this is my sales table. And where is the other table coming from? Yeah, so that means it's in my geography. So the initial way I can just click on the country and say, okay, this is the country, use this together, but that's not the case because we have Germany, different types we have Germany, Berlin, we have Germany, Frankfurt, and we have the other type of Germany. So what that means is that we are going to use these two columns, as our connection. So I'll click here. So this should be, the country should be the first one. This is the country. Oh, sorry. And I'll click on this town. So you can see I'm having two. So I'm giving it two requirements. Look at the country first. After that, look at the town. So again, the same thing I'm going to do for this. This is the country. Then I'll also highlight my control. And you can see now we have been able to, I can go ahead and say, merge these queries together for me. So is this clear? Are we still together? Just before, and we can see from the record, it's saying 54530 or 54530 of this first table. So everything is matching. Yeah, we don't need to worry about this because we are using the left outer because everything in this table we want to retain and we want to pick something from this other table. So that's why we just leave it as this default left outer join. And by the time I hit my OK now, I have that, everything in the geography table. I have it, but that's not what I want to do. That's not what I want to do. I'll go ahead and expand this column now. All the table I have is there. So what do I need to do? And what I only need is the geo key. And I can just uncheck this use original column name as preface. So I don't want this because what it's going to do is going to put geokey.geography, which is what I don't want. So I'll just uncheck this and click on my geokey. So I have my geokey now in this table. Yeah. I have it here. So I can even maybe go ahead and remove both the country and the town, because I already have this geo key, which is going to serve like a connection to me, that is one to many in this other table. Are we okay?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So let's just go ahead and continue. 1 second, please. Okay. Yeah. So this is okay. Maybe can even go ahead and remove this, both the country and the town, because we already have them. We might remove this so as to remove any form of redundancy in our data. So let's remove this. I'm going to remove this to column. Remove columns. Yeah, because we already have another table that we can get all this information from. And by the time we go to our modeling, we already have this geo key here, and we have geo key here. So durably, we can connect this together, and we'll still get our country and the town together at the same time. Okay, so let's look at the other ones. We have the geo key. Yeah, that's fine. Let's also look at the products. I think we've not even looked at this product key. We have the subcategory. Yeah, we can also create the product ID. We can create a connection between that as well. Let me also look at this. Yeah, let's see. Do we have a product? Yeah. So in this case now, we're supposed to have this product ID, product table, supposed to be a unique, we are not supposed to have a duplicate in this column here. And I can see 7, maybe the person that is entering this data set, made a mistake and repeats. I can see product ID 7, which is the same thing appearing twice. I can see the same thing appearing for product ID 10. So we can use the remove duplicate function in this case. I'm going to go to right click, remove duplicates, right? Okay, so I now have my my unique product ID, which is the primary key here. So I have this as a unique, so that means I can create a connection, between this product table and the sales table using this product ID. So that's fine. Let's also see, this is okay, subcategory, right? Okay. So maybe this subcategory name, okay, we already have the category key. This is okay. And let me see, what do we need to, we have the category. Okay. Just trying to see. We have the category key. Yeah, this is okay. And then which other one we have? Okay, I think this is okay now. Maybe we can just go ahead and load this into our, into our query, our Power BI, so that we can have this model, because we have everything clean now. The geography is looking okay. The sales rep is also looking okay. This is looking good. Sales rep name, subcategories as well. Okay. This is okay. I think we are good. I'll just go ahead and close and apply. Close and apply. Let's see what we could have in this case now. Okay. Let's go to the model view to see if all our relationships are perfect. Let me reduce this. So yeah, because I have default setting in my Power BI to auto detect relationship. So that's why some of those things are, by default. I can see some relationship here. I can see my sales. Let me just put this. I'll remove all the relationships so that we'll create it from scratch. Just remove this. Right click, delete relationship. Delete relationship. Yeah. This one again, delete relationship. Yeah. So this case study, I'm going to arrange this as a star schema. So I'll put my sales, which is the fact table. I'm going to put it at the middle. And I can put all my other table. Maybe I can just arrange them something like this. Arrange them. Yep, doesn't matter. But I have my sales here, which is in the middle. I have this here. I have this here. And maybe I can put this one at the top here. Put this here. Put this here. And put this one here. Okay. So now, the first thing we need to do, let's start with this geography key. We have our geo key here, and we have our geo key. So we can just drag this and put this on the geo key. So, recall that we only have one occurrence of each of these location here. So that's one to many, because each of these geo key appears more than one in this particular table. So that's one to many relationship. Let's look at the category as well. We have the category key here. Do we have anything like category key here? No, but I think we have category key in these subcategories. Okay. So I can create, of course, you can also create a relationship between two dimension tables. So in this case, I have a category key. I can bring this here. This is my category key. So this should be one to many relationship because I have more than one category here as well. Another thing we can also do is looking at the product table and the subcategory. The product, this is the product table, and this is the subcategory. So I have subcategory key here. I have subcategory key here. So I can create a connection here as well, which is going to be one to many relationship. Okay. Are we still together? Are we following? If I'm too fast, please just call my attention. I want to understand that this is very clear, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. So going again, I have this sales rep here, and I have sales rep ID. So I can also drag this and put this on this one. Yeah. So our model is taking a good shape now. So let's look at. I think there is something we should be able to connect. Yeah, the product table with the product ID. So again, I have the product ID here. Let's see product ID. Right. Are we still having anyone that, I think the whole table now, they are connected to each other because this, we can select this, come here and come into the sales and get the categories. This one also, let's see, sales rep ID. We don't have anything like sales rep ID here. Yeah, I think that's it. Or is there anyone I'm missing? Are we missing anyone? Any suggestion, please?
Yeah, I assume I'm just confused. So I thought the sales table should be able to connect every other table. So as
Okay.
it is now, the categories and the subcategories, they are standing alone, that they're not being connected to the sales table. So I don't know.
Yeah. So don't forget that.
Even if you can connect it through the product table. So I
Yes,
thought,
it can connect. So don't forget that categories and subcategories are linked together, and subcategories is linked to the product table. So if I do anything from here, it will pass through here, and come here. Because they are connected together. So if I do anything with the categories, okay, let's practicalize that.
that means I cannot get a relationship between the sales table and the subcategory directly.
Yeah. Yes,
I have
you
to
can.
pass through products.
Yes, because that's where we only have.
Okay, no worries, it's fine.
Yeah, that's where we only have a form of, where we have a key here, and we have a key here, and this other one is linked to the sales table. So yeah, I think that's it, because we can't make use of this sales primary key. Yeah, we don't have that, based on the information we are given. I'm not sure we are using any of those information. Yeah, but one thing is missing. We don't have our dates key here. We don't have our dates table. We don't have anything like it, because looking at the requirements, we are asked to calculate, to do a kind of a time series. Looking at this data, okay, it's even here. Create a data model containing all tables using calendar table. So that means we need to use the function. We need to leverage on the function of the Power BI to create a date table. So if you look at the requirement I sent earlier, that was last week, I already put a formula on how we can create a table. So in this case, we are going to use a DAX. We're going to use DAX to create the table. So let me go to my data. I'm going to go to data. If you look at these cells, we have a date here, but this date, we can't make use of this date as we need to have our separate key, because what we will be doing is we are doing a time intelligence analysis. I think there was a place that said we should show the previous sales, same period last month. We need to show that. So in this case now, we can't make use of this column embedded in the sales table. We need to create our own table separate, and we can use the information we have this date here. So we'll just use the DAX function to pick, generate a calendar table, using the start, the first date in this table here. From that first date to the last date, generate a calendar for me. And that's what we are going to use. So how do we do that? Now, I'll just go to, excuse me, I'll go to the new measure, yeah, which is what we want to do. Or maybe I can even make use of the new table. Let's use new table since we are creating a date, right? So this date is going to call, we are going to call this our, let's say, calendar. Let me just say, call it calendar. Okay, calendar. So now I can use the function of the calendar now, which is the calendar. There are two ways we can do. Use calendar auto. Okay, I can use this calendar auto. So without specifying, anything, without specifying maybe the start date, the end date. But now let's create an argument so that we can maintain, picking the first date in our sales table where the first ever sales happen, pick it, and also the last date where there was the last sales date. Also generate using that T1 and T2, generate dates between all those two, T1 and T2 in this case. So I'm going to use calendar auto, calendar. No, I'm not going to use auto now. I'm going to use calendar. And it's going to, you can see, start date. I'm going to say first, I'm going to use first date, first date of where? First date in my sales table, which is the date. I'm going to call it, you can see. So this is really, really just like what in Excel is going to guide you what we need to do. Calendar, and we're saying, okay, we are picking the first date from where? From the sales date, right? So I'll close that. You can see the moment I close that and I put my comma, it's going to the end date, which is the last date. So I'm also going to use last date, of which date now, of also the dates I have in my sales table. So I can close this and I have my calendar here. So I have the date now, which is what we have here. Yeah. So if you go to the last day we have in our sales table, in our sales record, this will be already, gonna be the last date we have there. So are we still together, or is this too much information?
To process it.
Yeah. Hello. Is this too much?
I'm trying to process it. So can you just walk us through it again?
Okay. Yeah. So one of the requirements is that we need to use the Power BI function of dates to generate a calendar table. So which is what we want to do. So for us to generate a calendar table, Power BI has a function called calendar. So we can either use calendar auto. Calendar auto sometimes will look at your data. We look at all the table, anywhere you have dates in your table, and look at the first date, and the last date. So calendar auto also works like that. But in a case whereby we want to specify an argument, say select a first date, from a sales table. So which is what I want us to use in this case. So I'm going to, again, delete this. I'm going to delete this from the model. So if I want to create a new table, because I'm creating a new table, I have new measure, quick measure, new column. But in this case, I'm generating a new table. So I'll click on this new table now. And, I'll name this. You can see it. What's the name of the table? The name of the table is calendar. I'm calling this my calendar. And I'll say specify equals to what? I'm calling using the calendar function, calendar. You can see as I'm typing the calendar, I have calendar and calendar auto. But in this case, let's use calendar. And when we are using calendar, we need to specify an argument. We need to specify where it should pick the date from. What's the date range? So we are saying calendar, first date in where? In which column now? Where is the date you want to pick the date from? First date in the date that I have in my sales, which is this. Pick it. Then I'll close this. You can see it has moved. It's already telling me that I need to specify another argument, which is the end date. So I can use the comma, just follow our formula as here. Use the comma, and it's going to ask me where is the end date. So I'm also going to use the last date in the date I have in my sales. Then I can close this, the bracket, and I have everything. So by the time I hit my enter, I have this. So is it clear now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I know that sometimes is a lot of information, But there is a tool now. Some guys, as you know, I'm going to delete. Let me delete this. I'm going to delete this from the model. There are a couple of external tools that we can link directly with your Power BI. One of them is the Bravo. It's called Bravo. Another one is called Dash Studio. It's called Tabular Editor. So we can leverage on each of these, you know. So I'm just going to use the Bravo as an example. Let's say I click on this Bravo now. So it's going to ask me, it's trying to read my data. Let me see what it's saying. Okay, it's saying that I need to disable an auto date and time in the Power BI function. So I'm just going to close this. Let me go to File. I just want, there is a settings that I need to remove. Option. I'll just remove this portion so that I can use that tools to create all this calendar we are creating with just one click. It's going to generate everything. So we don't even need to start writing any DAX formula. So let me uncheck this. I'm going to uncheck this because it doesn't work with it. That particular tool, it doesn't work if you have this enabled within your that same data. So let me go back now. I think this should work. Oh, I think I unchecked the wrong. I unchecked the wrong one. Let me see. Yeah, sorry. This should be there for data load. But this current file, the one I want to select is this current file. I don't want time intelligence. This is what I need to supposed to have checked. I don't want time intelligence, and I can hit my okay. So if I go back to my Bravo now, I'll go back to the Bravo and say I want to generate. You know, you can see I have this manage date now. So with just one click, it's going to generate. You know, it's already them. This model is compatible with the manage date feature. So it asking me preview changes. I'm just going to say preview changes. Apply changes. Congratulations, your model was updated and it's done. So let me see. I should have that table in my Power BI now. Yeah. So you can see all those things I'm trying to calculate. You can see it, even the thing that I did not even ask, it went further and generate all the table, all the date for me. You can see, you know, it has generated the date for me, even do another column, year for me, do the quarter number, do the quarter, year, quarter, everything with just one click. So I don't need to, I even have, you know, days of the week, day of the week, date with transaction. You can see that did any transaction occur in these dates. So using this, you know, this one single tools, I have my date function already. So is that taking? I know it's just like a magic, but rather than adding, you know, writing that from formula, you know, some guys have look at, oh, let's come up with something, and they've developed a program which is called Bravo in this case. So this Bravo, with just one click, once you have any dates, you have a date in your data, it's just going to look at it, you know, and generate series of dates that you can use in your query, in your Power BI for you, for, you know, for us. You can, all this thing will have been generating this thing one by one, saying, okay, you know what, format using writing DAX. If you look at the requirements, I already put all those formula there. You can see we create a calendar, first date of the sale. We extract the year from this date that we selected. We will extract the month, we extract the name of the month, we extract the quarter, all these things, you know, rather than to be doing all this one by one. We've used just one, I think 2 or 3 clicks, right? And we have all this, you know, this thing generated for us. Yeah.
Quick question, Azim. I'm not currently with my Power BI at the moment. Those external tools, does it come with Power BI, or you just have to add it in?
You have to add it. You have to add it. I can get all the links. Yeah, I will get all the links across. Because yeah, this saved me a lot of headache. Sometimes if I'm trying to write a DAX formula, what I just need to do with just one click and I have my dates, or maybe I want to do other form of calculation, writing DAX. I can use any of those tools and generate my, my formulas for me, and that's just it.
Okay. So this external tab now called that one.
Yeah.
Do you add it like in Excel? You go to options, you go to add in. Was that how you brought that there, or was it there initially?
So with the moment you install these tools, it's going to ask you that open in Power BI. So as you click on open in one BI once, it automatically is going to connect to your Power BI. So once you install it, you just click open in Power BI. So you don't need to go to all those add in like in Excel that you have to say add in, start locating where the add in is. This one, you install the program on your laptop and you just open it in Power BI, and that's just it.
Okay, thanks for that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go to our model again. So we need to create a relationship, with the date now. So where is our date table? Where is our date table? I think this is our date table. Yeah, this is our date table. So this one is, one of the formula that the tools use to generate all these things. So we have this. So what I'll just do now is to take this to the dates, right? And link that up. So I should have, one to many as well. So you can see we have a perfect star schema now. So let's say, I'll just put this one here. Put this here. Put this here. Yeah. So this is a perfect, star schema. Yeah. So
do we call this a star or a snowflake? Because it's branching out now.
Yeah, because of these
categories and
these two that are connected.
They have sub dimensions now.
Yeah, sub dimensions. So yeah, to me, it's some people use it the same thing. So okay, this is star schema, but yeah, I think I will agree with you because of this branching out where we have connection between two dimension table. So we can say this is a snowflake as well. I agree with you on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that clarification.
Yeah. So I think our time is fast spent. So let's see, based on the requirement, we are also asked to calculate. Let me see. They said calculate total revenue in sales table using the product retail price and multiply it by the units. So if I go to my data, so we have this sales table. They said we should use this unit, right, and multiply it with, well, let me see. They said using the product retail price and multiply it by the unit. So we need to go to the product table and pick the retail price, multiply it by that unit. So going there now, let's look at the product table. The product table has this retail price. So we are meant to use, this retail price, we are meant to multiply it with our units here. So, but the challenge about this is they are not in the same table. If they are on the same table, we can just say, okay, new column, we just add a new column to this here and call this our total revenue based on the instruction, total revenue. And we can just say units, sales unit multiply by that retail price. but we don't have that retail price. We don't have it here. So we are going to use function called related, which is, if you look at what I put into the formula. So when you are trying to multiply, or you want to do a form of aggregate, or a form of perform a function between two columns that they are in different table, you use the function called related. So in this case now, if I go here, I'm going to say this multiply by, I'll call up the related, which is the related. You say, okay, where is the column name? Where is it? Is in my products, which is called retail price, which is this. So this is the column, returns a related value from another table. That's the function. Yeah. So I'll just click on this and I'll close this. So I should have my total revenue now. So this is the total revenue, because I already have a connection between these two tables, right? So if you look at this sales and the product, I already have using the product ID. So that condition, that criteria will still be the same that is using to perform this. Is going to look at this product ID, look at the product ID, look at the units, go to the product table, look at that product ID, look at the retail price, and perform that. There's something doing behind the scene that we can't see with our eye, because we have already connected this product ID. Say, based on what we have in this sales here, that's when we are using the related, because they are connected already. It's going to pick the product ID from this table. So, okay, let me pick, based on this instruction this guy is giving me, saying that, oh, related, and how are these two tables related? They are related using the product ID. So it's going to look at this product ID and look at the unit. Okay, based on this product ID, the unit is this one, is 130. So what is the retail price in the product table? It will use this related function, go to that product table and look at the retail price of this product ID and multiply it, by each of these units we have here. You can see. So a lot of things is going behind the scene that we can't see, and that's how DAX works. So yeah, I know this is a lot of information to consume, but yeah, I'll just stop here for today. DAX is something is complex sometimes. So are we okay?
Yeah, thank you so much. The little time I spent here, I got some magic today as well. Thank you so much. Yeah. To me, it's just like Excel, right?
Yeah.
Just that the way the way it now comes up, you now need an extra step after Excel. But once you are used to Excel formulas, you'll be able to relate with this dark stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. And like you said, we should try and look at the operation that is happening in the back end. We should try and understand, the steps, what happens at the back end. Okay, it goes to this table to look for this, it goes to that place, it can join it together. So once we start to understand what's happening in the background, we feel less intimidated. Yeah, thank you for this. I usually don't come on Saturday, but I was able to breeze in today, and I really enjoyed myself. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Thank you.
Hello, Azim.